Manchester United dominated large parts of their clash with Arsenal at Old Trafford, yet still came away empty-handed from the very first whistle. United pressed high, dictated possession, and looked sharper in midfield. Reuben Amorim set his team to swarm Arsenal's build-up, with Kuna and Mbeumo drifting between lines and Bruno Fernandes orchestrating play from deep. By the 20th minute, United had registered twice as many shots and nearly 60% possession, forcing Arsenal to play long more often than they wanted. It felt like United were in control. Yet, football at this level is rarely about who has more of the ball. It is about who makes fewer mistakes and who seizes the key moments. Arsenal, under Mikel Arteta, have become masters of maximizing moments, especially from set pieces. And this match was no different. Their biggest threat was never through open play, but through their corners and free kicks. Declan Rice's delivery was sharp, flat, and consistently dangerous. The decisive moment arrived when Ricardo Calafiori made a perfectly timed run at the near post, escaping his marker and capitalized on a lapse in United's defensive organization. United's goalkeeper Altay Bayındır, deputizing for the injured Andre Onana, misjudged the flight of the ball, coming half a step too late. What should have been a routine clearance turned into a game-winning error. Calafiori's header flew in, and suddenly Arsenal had the lead despite creating very little in open play. It was a brutal reminder that in matches of such fine margins, one lapse can undo 90 minutes of dominance. United, however, were not without chances. They fashioned several opportunities that on another day would have seen them score. Kuna had to clear looks on goal but snatched at one, and hesitated at another, while Mbeumo, though lively, often drifted wide. His cutbacks failed to find runners in the box. Fernandes did his best to dictate the tempo, but Arsenal's midfield pairing of Rice and Martin Degaard worked tirelessly to close spaces and suffocate passing lanes. Whenever United probed centrally, Arsenal's compactness forced them wide, and cross after cross was repelled by William Saliba and Calafiori. The numbers tell the story. United's expected goals reached 1.7 compared to Arsenal's 0.9. Yet they came away with nothing. Domination without precision is ultimately meaningless. Arsenal's defensive resilience deserves credit. Saliba was colossal in the air. Calafiori not only scored, but also led clearances. And Ben White's overlapping runs relieved pressure when Arsenal needed to escape. The backline stayed compact, their distance is tight, and even when United piled on pressure late in the second half, Arsenal never panicked. This ability to suffer, to defend deep without losing structure, is what separates teams who chase the title from those who merely compete. Arteta's substitutions reinforced that solidity. Fresh legs in midfield, defense closing down the little spaces United tried to exploit. Every time United tried to find a gap, it closed almost immediately. The tactical contrast was clear. United pressed high and tried to impose their will, but in doing so they left themselves open to transitions. Arsenal, by comparison, were efficient. They didn't need multiple chances. They only needed one, and they made it count. This is the fine margin that separates efficiency from wastefulness. Bayındır's error was costly, but United's inability to take advantage of their dominance was just as decisive. Football at the elite level punishes wastefulness, and Arsenal showed the kind of ruthless pragmatism that fuels championship campaigns. For United, the defeat raises important questions. Their goalkeeper situation remains unsettled, with Onana injured and Bayındır struggling to convince. Pressure mounts for reinforcements. Names like Martinez and Donnarumma are already being linked. The debate will only intensify. Amorim's system showed promise. United played with energy, intensity, and bravery, but the lack of a clinical edge, the vulnerability on set pieces highlights structural weaknesses that cannot be ignored. For Arsenal, this was not their most fluent display. They did not dominate possession, nor did they create a flurry of chances. Yet, what they did demonstrate was resilience, tactical discipline, and the ability to take maximum value from limited opportunities. Arteta will know that not every win can be beautiful. Some victories must be ground out, and grinding out wins away at Old Trafford is the hallmark of a team ready to push for the Premier League crown. In the aftermath, Reuben Amorim tried to take positives, pointing out that United were not boring and that their style was brave. But supporters are divided. For some, this was progress, proof that United can go toe-to-toe with a title challenger. For others, it was the same old story, promising football undone by costly mistakes and a lack of killer instinct. Arsenal fans, on the other hand, will relish the fact that even when second best in general play, their team emerged victorious. Arteta himself admitted relief at escaping Old Trafford with the points, but deep down he will know that these ugly wins often make the difference come May. When you step back, the story of the match is simple yet profound. United dominated but lost because they lacked efficiency in the final third, because their goalkeeper faltered at a decisive moment, and because Arsenal maximized their set-piece strength. Arsenal showed once again that the game is not always about who holds the ball, but about who controls the moments that matter. United showed promise, but also fragility. Arsenal showed resilience, ruthlessness, and a growing maturity. As the Premier League season unfolds, this match may be remembered less for flowing football and more as a lesson in margins. One team played well, but wasted chances. The other played average, but capitalized. United will need to sharpen their finishing, settle their goalkeeping situation, and turn possession into goals if they are to climb the table. Arsenal will take encouragement that even on a day when they were second best, they still had enough tactical nous and mental toughness to leave Old Trafford with a statement victory. And that, more than anything, is why Arsenal continue to look like genuine contenders while United remain in search of answers. So in the end, the scoreline says it all. Manchester United dominated but lost. Arsenal bent but never broke. At the highest level, dominance means nothing if it cannot be converted. And in this battle, it was Arsenal who proved ruthless while United were left to reflect on what might have been.